A 75-year-old man sat across the kitchen table from his son, and his son looked him in the eye and said, "Dad, I think it's time you move into a nursing home." Those words hit like a punch to the chest. A nursing home. The end of the line. The place where independence goes to die. But 1 month later, that same man was living comfortably on just $500 a month. No nursing home, no full-time caregiver, no pity from anyone. And what he discovered is something that most people over 70 never even consider. His name was Robert. He was 75 years old. He'd spent 40 years climbing the corporate ladder, retired as a senior executive, thought he had life all figured out. But when his wife passed away 7 years ago, everything changed. The house went quiet. Simple tasks became struggles. And every day, he asked himself the same question: where do I belong now? If that question sounds familiar, stay with this video, because today we're going to walk through 5 paths that seniors take when they can't live alone anymore, and reveal why 4 of them fail and only 1 actually works. The last one is something nobody talks about, and it might completely change how you think about getting older. Stay until the end. Now, before we get into the story, understand this. What you're about to hear isn't made up. It matches what researchers and doctors have been saying for years, that independence, purpose, and human connection are just as important as medicine when it comes to living well past 70. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what options are out there, why most of them don't work the way people expect, and what actually does. And so let's get into it. Lesson 1:1. Moving in with family isn't always the answer. When you get older and things start breaking down, your shoulder aches, your legs wobble on the stairs, you slip in the bathroom one evening, the first thought is usually family. Move in with the kids. Let them take care of you. It sounds right. It sounds warm. But the reality is often very different. Think about Robert and a woman named Dorothy, both in their mid-70s. Robert moved in with his son David's family. The first week was wonderful. Family dinners, grandkids hugging him at the door, laughter in the living room. But by week 2, David and his wife were at work all day. The kids had school and sports. Robert found himself alone again, except now he was alone in someone else's house. The small comments started: "Dad, less salt. On your blood pressure. Dad, turn down the TV. The kids have homework." Nobody was being cruel, but every word reminded him, "You're a guest here." One night, he overheard his daughter-in-law on the phone saying, "I know it's the right thing, but honestly, it's exhausting." Dorothy, on the other hand, moved in with her daughter who worked from home. They had space, they had time, and they genuinely enjoyed each other's company. It worked beautifully for her. Same idea, completely different outcomes. The truth is, living with family doesn't automatically fix loneliness. Sometimes it makes it worse. You're surrounded by people, but you still feel invisible. Here's what you can do. Before making that move, have an honest conversation with your family. Talk about space, routines, and expectations. If the fit isn't right, it's okay to say so. And that doesn't mean your family doesn't love you. Ask yourself this: if you moved in with your kids tomorrow, would you feel at home or would you feel like a guest? Lesson 2. Caregivers cost more than money. After 3 months with his son, Robert moved back home. He needed his own space, but he couldn't do everything alone anymore. His wrist hurt when he lifted pots. Cleaning exhausted him. One afternoon, changing a light bulb, his hands started shaking. The bulb slipped. He grabbed the wall, heart pounding, so he hired a part-time caregiver. 5 days a week, 3 hours a day. The first one, Maria, was great. Warm, experienced, efficient. She cleaned, cooked simple meals, and ran errands. For a moment, it seemed like the perfect solution. Then the bills came. $4,000 a month. His Social Security covered $2,200. Savings were draining fast. And then there were the small conflicts. Robert liked his kitchen cleaned right after breakfast. Maria preferred to do it later. A tiny thing, but in your own home, those tiny things eat at you. Then Maria left for a family emergency. The next caregiver lasted 1 month. The one after that, 2 weeks. Every time someone new walked through the door, Robert had to start over. Explain everything again, adjust to a new personality. Now think about a man named Walter, 77. He found one caregiver he trusted and kept her for 3 years. They built a real routine. It worked for him. But for Robert, the constant turnover was draining. The deeper issue is this: money can buy services, but it can't buy comfort. If you're spending thousands every month and you still feel like a stranger in your own home, something is wrong. The good news is there are options between full-time care and no care at all. Look into community programs, volunteer help networks, or even neighbors who might trade favors. You don't always need to write a check to get support. Have you ever calculated what caregiving is actually costing you? Not just in dollars, but in peace of mind? If you're still watching this video and finding these lessons valuable, please comment number 75 below to let us know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, we recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now let's move forward. Lesson 3.3. A nursing home can feel like a cage. Robert's son found a facility nearby. $3,000 a month, clean rooms, medical staff on site, meals included. Robert agreed to try it for 1 month. Moving in felt strange, like checking into a hospital, except he wasn't sick. The first few days were fine. He met other residents, played cards, talked about the old days. But by the end of the first week, he felt trapped. Wake up at 6, breakfast at 7:30, lunch at noon, dinner at 5:30. Lights out at 9. Robert was a night owl. He liked reading until midnight. But if staff saw light under his door, a nurse would knock and say it was time to sleep. He was 75 years old. He'd been making his own decisions his entire life. Now a stranger was telling him when to go to bed. One beautiful evening, he wanted to walk outside. Cool breeze, clear sky. A staff member stopped him. Outdoor time ended at 7, safety policy. Those 2 words became his prison. Now consider a woman named Margaret, 80. She moved into the same kind of facility and loved it. The social life, the structure, the peace of mind. It was exactly what she needed. For her, it worked. But Robert wasn't that sick. He could walk, think clearly, handle most things on his own. For someone like him, the nursing home didn't feel like care. It felt like captivity. Here's the truth. Nursing homes are essential for some people, but they're not the only answer, and they're not right for everyone. Before you or your family make that decision, honestly evaluate what level of help you actually need. Don't let fear push you into giving up more freedom than necessary. Could you still manage daily life with just a little support? Or do you truly need round-the-clock care? Lesson 4. The real danger is giving up. Robert came back home after 3 weeks. He felt free, but he also felt stuck. He tried family, caregivers, and a nursing home. Nothing worked. For a few days, he did nothing, just sat on his porch and watched the neighborhood. Life was happening all around him, but he felt separate from it, like he was watching through a window. Think about 2 men. George, 76, went through a similar rough stretch. He lost his wife, tried living with his kids, didn't like it. But George kept pushing. He walked every morning, joined a chess club at the community center, and forced himself to stay active. Then there was Carl, 74. Carl stopped trying. He stayed home, watched TV all day, and waited for his kids to call. Within a year, Carl's health fell off a cliff. His muscles weakened. His mind got foggy. He stopped caring about meals, about hygiene, about anything. This is what doctors call the giving up spiral. When you stop moving, stop connecting, and stop trying, your body follows your mind downhill. Research shows that social isolation in seniors increases the risk of early death by nearly 30%. That's not a small number. The good news is it doesn't take a miracle to break that cycle. Even small steps count. Walk to the mailbox, say hello to a neighbor, call an old friend. Movement and connection are medicine, and they're free. When was the last time you did something just because it made you feel alive? If this video is resonating with you, please hit the like button right now. It really does help more people find this content. And what comes next is the lesson that changed everything for Robert. Let's keep going. Lesson 5.5. The answer nobody talks about: community and purpose. One afternoon, Robert was walking through the park near the elementary school. 3 o'clock, kids streaming out. That's when he noticed a young woman named Sarah who lived in his building. She was on her phone, pacing, clearly stressed. She was a working mother raising her 6-year-old daughter mostly alone. Her husband traveled constantly. Robert walked over and offered to pick up her daughter from school. Sarah hesitated, but Robert said, "You're not asking, I'm offering." The next day, he picked up little Emma, walked her home. She talked about her teacher, her friends, her favorite cartoons. When Sarah got home, she knocked on Robert's door with a plate of food. He tried to refuse. She said, "You're helping me, let me help you." That became their routine, but it grew into much more. Sarah's husband fixed Robert's leaky faucet. Sarah helped him with online bill pay. Emma drew pictures, stick figures of them walking, a big sun in the corner, and taped them to his door. One evening, Sarah told him, "You changed our lives. I was drowning before you showed up." Robert smiled and said she'd changed his too. Now think about Eleanor, 73. She volunteers at her local library 3 mornings a week, helping kids learn to read. She doesn't earn a dime, but she says she hasn't felt this alive in years. Then think about Joe, 78, same age, same health, but Joe sits at home waiting for his phone to ring. Completely different quality of life. The difference is purpose. Here's what this means. You don't need someone to take care of you. You need to still matter, to still contribute, to still have a reason to get up in the morning. Robert went from spending $4,000 a month and feeling lonely to spending $500 and feeling more connected than he had in years. The difference? Relationships aren't something you can buy. They're something you build by giving. Here's what you can do right now. Look around your neighborhood. Ask yourself, who needs help? Maybe a young family needs someone to watch their kids for an hour. Maybe a neighbor needs someone to talk to. Maybe you're good with fixing things or cooking or just listening. Whatever it is, offer it. That's how community starts. What do you still have to give? The answer might surprise you. And now take a moment and think about what you just heard. We covered 5 paths: moving in with family, hiring caregivers, the nursing home, giving up, and building community. 4 of them failed Robert. Only one actually changed his life. Here are the biggest takeaways. You don't have to choose between total independence and total dependence. There's a middle ground. You can accept help without giving up control. Community matters more than money. Robert spent thousands on caregivers and still felt lonely. A simple exchange with a neighbor gave him everything money couldn't buy. You still have something valuable to offer. Time, patience, experience, kindness. Those things don't expire. Age doesn't make you worthless. It just changes what you have to give. The good news is your future isn't set in stone. The choices you make today, to stay healthy, to reach out, to find your place in a community, those choices can change everything. Start now. Take more walks. Talk to your neighbors. Find one small way to help someone this week. That's the foundation. The goal isn't just to live longer, it's to live better. And living better means staying connected, staying useful, and staying on your own terms. As the old saying goes, the first condition is always health. Stay healthy and everything else becomes easier. Thank you for joining us today. We'd love to hear from you. Leave a comment below and share one thing you learned from this video and how you plan to use it in your life. Or if you've already found your own version of what Robert found, tell us your story. It might help someone else who's watching right now and feeling stuck. Or your thoughts are important to us, so don't hesitate to share them. Reading your comments gives us great motivation and encouragement. If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, please like, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs to hear this. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Thanks for watching, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video.